Okay, everybody, welcome to today's MPO Technical Advisory Committee for Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. Call this meeting to order, and we can do some brief introductions. I'll start to my left, and Rebecca, if you're able to join us, hop on here at the end after we do introductions here in the room. Just please introduce yourself and the agency you're representing. If you're a proxy for someone, just mention your proxy and who you're filling in for today. So, Ryan, start us off.
Ryan Roebling, City of Bloomington Planning and Transportation, proxy David Hiddle.
Paul Satterley, Monroe County Highway Engineer.
Nate Nichols, City of Bloomington Public Works Department.
Neil Copper, proxy for the Bloomington City Engineer.
Jackie Gillen, the Monroe County Planning Department. And Katie, can you make sure the transcription is working? I don't know if it's still muted or not.
Oh, thank you. I forgot.
John Baton, GIS Coordinator, Monroe County.
Hunter Jackson, proxy for Monroe County Auditor.
Megan Blair, GIS Manager, City of Bloomington.
Beth Kazart, Monroe County Parks and Recreation, proxy for Kelly Whitmer.
Cheryl Gilliland, Deputy Controller, City of Bloomington, proxy for Jessica McClellan, Controller, City of Bloomington.
Linnea Wellings, NDOT, proxy for Rebecca Packer.
And Rebecca online, can you hear us?
I can, thank you. Rebecca Swift, Operations and Development Division Director with City of Bloomington Parks and Recreation.
Great, thank you. Thanks, everybody, and appreciate all the proxies filling in today. Next item is approval of today's meeting agenda. Do you have a motion to approve today's agenda? Motion to approve. Awesome, thanks, John. Do I have a second? Thanks, Ryan. Any public comment on this item? Okay, hearing none. Katie, do roll call vote?
John Baton,
Yes.
Megan Blair,
Yes.
Cheryl Gilliland,
Yes.
Jackie Gillen,
Yes.
Ryan Roebling.
Yes.
Did you introduce yourself? Yes.
Brian Filkowski, Bloomington Transit, proxy for John Connell.
Brian Filkowski. Neil Copper.
Yes.
Linnea Wellings.
Yes.
Paul Satterley.
Yes.
Hunter Jackson.
Yes.
Beth Kosart.
Yes.
Kosair.
Yes, for me too.
Nate Nickel. Thank you.
And Brian, just whenever you vote, can you just speak in the microphone? That'll help Katie with the transcript. Thanks.
Passes. Did I get everyone?
Great, thank you. Next item is approval of minutes from our last meeting on March 26th. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Thanks, John.
Second.
Thank you, Ryan. Any public comment on the meeting minutes from March? Okay, hearing none. Turn it back to you, Katie.
Ryan Roebling,
Yes.
Jackie Gillen,
Yes.
Cheryl Gilliland,
Yes.
Linnea Wellings,
Yes.
Nate Nickel,
Yes.
Paul Satterley,
Yes.
Neil Copper,
Yes.
Megan Blair,
Yes.
John Baton. John Baton.
Yes.
And Brian Filkowski,
Yes.
Hunter Jackson,
Yes.
and Beth Kosair.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you. Next is communications from the chair and vice chair. John, anything to pass along?
I don't think so today. Thanks, Nate.
Just real quick, I'll pass along at the policy committee meeting, Lisa Ridge, the highway department director for Monroe County, mentioned that Indiana Department of Transportation had successfully approved some community crossing matching grants locally, and that's a 50-50 matching grant program with the state for transportation projects, so it's an excellent way to leverage state money locally. The city of Bloomington was able to get some projects approved with that. Monroe County, I believe the town of Ellettsville, and for the first time, the towns of Steinville also applied and was approved. So excellent to hear that, and always good to make transportation dollars go a little farther. With that, any reports from officers or committees to update us on? Okay, hearing none, back to you, Katie.
All right, quick update. You know what? The first one is supposed to say an update on the UPWP, which was the document approved at the just recent April 11th PC Policy Committee meeting. The update is that that approved document has been submitted to INDOT for a final review. I could also update on the TIP. The TIP is also pending final review by INDOT as well. I feel like hold on. Oh my gosh, I'm in the wrong one, sorry. Huh. I knew that looked weird. Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to share about some recent TIP funding updates. This is simply regarding funding trades that have taken place recently for the 2026 to 2030 TIPs. So there was a recent agreement between MPO, which is us. We traded fiscal year 2025 funds because we had some excess. We traded them with an MACOG MPO for fiscal year 29. And then a trade was also made with the Columbus area MPO. Our funds in 28 and 30, and they will be giving us funds in fiscal year 2026. So that's been updated to the 26 to 2030 TIP table. If you have questions about that, you can chat with us or ask. Also, just a quick reminder about the current public comment period for the statewide transportation improvement program is April 1st through May 16th. They do have virtual open houses. The last virtual open house is tomorrow. And next Wednesday on April 30th, there will be a in-person presentation open house for the STIP. This is the kind of like our TIP, but on a statewide level. They also have a map survey and a public comment form that you can submit. I encourage you to go into the map survey and send your comments off to INDOT. I think I don't believe I announced this last time, but this has been knowledge for a while. INDOT has reduced the speed on State Road 46 in Ellettsville between Arlington and Red Bud Hill Road. So that is an update to a state road that's local here. And then another update INDOT has made to a local state road is the all-way stop at State Road 45 and Smith. There's press releases for those in the packet. And Finally, I wanted to say a quick thing about the SR 446 project. So NDOT has plans to redo the road and put in new sidewalks and pedestrian crossings along SR 46 between 3rd and East Moores Pike. We had NDOT organized a meeting Monday, that involved the city and the county because the county has a park planned for upcoming park planned for fiscal year. I believe it's coming in 2026, but it's the southwest corner of East Moores Pike and 446, and so NDOT wanted some thoughts from local jurisdictions about their planned project for SR 446. So we had a good conversation about that. They essentially, the county and city and MPO all advocated for multi-use path instead. However, due to funding restrictions, so the sidewalk improvements are being funded with NDOT standalone sidewalk funds, which prohibits constructing sidewalks wider than 6 feet unless the local agency helps with the cost. So they're going to provide numbers to city and county. The burden will fall on the city because it's in city land, but they'll be providing numbers about what it will take to put a multi-use path in there, since everybody seemed to want it instead of a sidewalk. And I have a feeling engineering of the space will cause the cost to be pretty high. Pat says between 500 and a million is his guess. But so that's the status on that. It was good to have a meeting with NDOT about that. And thank you, Nate, for chatting about my next one. Let's see here. Just wanted to highlight the grants that were received by city and county. In December, the HSIP safety special call, and then the community crossings grant. The community crossings was public works and engineering, I think mainly public works, and then county, Steinsville, Ellettsville. MPO staff did not help with that, but I just wanted to share the good news. You can congratulate all those folks. And then finally, I wanted to open it up to the engineers we have here, and so they could update us on the MPO projects, which are essentially the projects happening that are using federal funding. So if Neil or Paul want to go first, go for it.
Sure, thanks. On the Vernal Pike Connector project, we got the beam set over the railroad, so they're busy working on getting the deck installed, and that project will be open later this summer. Our Fullerton Pike project, winding up construction on phase 1 and 2 from Rockport to Wickens, and they're currently building the sound wall along the subdivision, the Highlands there to the north of the corridor, and that section of Fullerton Pike is going to stay closed until August when we plan to open the entire roadway. So sorry for your loss of shortcuts, folks, but thought that would be better to keep it closed than having people trying to get to Kroger through everybody's subdivision. So, and then our rectangular rapid flashing beacon project is going to get started here shortly, and that's for 7 trail crossings, mostly on the south side of Bloomington. So that should be, once they get started, it won't take very long to get that complete. So be on the lookout for that. That's all I've got.
Update on just a few of the city projects. So our North Dunn Street multi-use path project, we are awaiting NDOT approval to actually officially start our design. But as we wait for that, we went ahead and the city hosted our first public input meeting a few weeks back to get input from the area. So looking forward to officially starting that shortly. Not a whole lot exciting happening right now. There's probably a fair amount of waiting. Our Crosswalks Phase 2 project is getting ready to start construction shortly. That's already been awarded to a contractor. The Beeline Connection project that just has a bit of trail left to construct. They're working on some of the environmental testing that needs to happen before they can build the last piece of that. West 17th Street, which probably appears like it's been fully complete for a while now, has had some of its final punch list items wrapped up recently, so we're looking forward to hopefully closing that out officially. One I'll mention that is not an MPO project, but just kind of for the good of everyone listening, we have a paving project starting up now on Winslow and Rogers, from Allendale on the west end, basically to the Sayre roundabout on the east end. They've started some of the curb and curb ramp work. I wanted to point out that the roundabout at the intersection of Winslow High and Rogers will be fully closed for 45 days during the summer. After school gets out, we don't know the exact date the closure will start yet, but full closure there. Detour route will be posted, but it's a long detour. It's a challenging area. There's not a lot of easy ways to get around it. So just trying to help get the word out on that. And I'd be happy to answer questions about any of our other projects or these.
Could I also just express on one of the highlights that you gave on some of the press releases, just verbalizing, we've had some concern from residents on the all-way stop at East State Road 45 and Smith Pike. So.
Yes, I know there's lots of thoughts about that one, yeah. We just had a meeting about it before this meeting, so.
Those updates, and if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to Neil or Paul. No old business today, so we'll jump ahead to new business, and it looks like we have a couple proposed NDOT tip amendments. So back to Katie.
Asking for your recommendation for the adoption of two proposed NDOT amendments. The first is a change to an existing project. Ironically enough, the SR 45 from the bypass to Russell. The request is increasing, the requested change is increasing PE funding, shifting funding from fiscal year of 25 to 26. So you can see the change here. The total project cost went from $850,000 to $1.5 million, and the reason for the change is because NDOT needs to utilize federal funding from here on out for the PE phase, and they had to cut a purchase order for preliminary and final design. The second requested change is for an NDOT project HMA overlay for about 15 miles between SR 46 from the 446 to the west junction of SR 135. The changes are adding 2025 right-of-way funding, adding a utilities phase, changing the funding source of CN phases, adding a new DES number, and shifting some of the CN funds. The new DES number was added to cover the bridge and culvert portion of the funds. you'll notice that there's a reduction in the total project cost from 19 million to 13 million. The reduction is due to a scope reduction from 4-inch minor structural overlay to 1.5 preventative overlay.
Thanks, Katie. Any questions on that, or Lene, do you have anything to add from the NDOT side?
No, mainly just clearly funding for anything right now is difficult, and we're trying to work with what funds we have available to the best of our abilities.
Thanks for that.
We're getting close to the end of the fiscal year. May 1st is really the deadline for changes, so, or the cutoff for changes, so.
If there are no questions or comments, do I have a motion to approve these two proposed tip amendments from NDOT? Motion to approve. Thanks, John. Second. Thank you, Ryan. Any public comment on these proposed tip amendments? Okay, hearing none, back to you, Katie, for vote.
Paul Satterley,
Yes.
Linnea Wellings,
Yes.
Cheryl Gilliland,
Yes.
John Baton,
Yes.
Megan Blair,
Yes.
Neil Copper,
Yes.
Brian Roebling,
Yes.
Jackie Jellin,
Yes.
Nate Nickel,
Yes.
Brian Falkowski,
Yes.
Hunter Jackson,
Yes.
Beth Cosair.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thanks, Katie. Okay, any public comment on matters that we did not touch on today's agenda? Okay, hearing none. Anyone have any communications that they'd like to update us on? Any general communications or topics to tackle at a future meeting? Okay, we'll be back here on May 28th. And again, thank you all for spending some time here this morning, and thank you proxies for pinch hitting. And we'll see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.